Would you believe me if I told you this is a tank build? Because never in a million years I didn't think this would be something that's considered a tank at all. Today's video is about an alternative build I believe that is perfect for tank players, as so myself. Probably the one build that is damage but also tank at the same time. It's not the typical tank DPS that you will see from every other build, but this one definitely speaks for itself, and I want to show you guys how I've done it. So my layout is so random. This is the tank build that I would assume you guys would question about, but I'm going to break this down because this is probably one of the most strangest ninja bike builds I have ever made. Just looking off this, you have 3-piece Aegis, which gives me 15% total armor, 2-piece Foundry for the 10% total armor, along with 3-piece Goblin, which gives you 10% total armor. Kind of see the trick here that's happening. This is definitely a armor-based build for the gear. As for the stats, everything is completely weapon core. If you guys don't know, this template is the highest amount of total armor you can get within the build. I tested this a while back in an older video about the expertise, and I managed to get at least 3 million armor with this build, but everything is completely swapped. But I changed everything to weapon core to see how much armor do I actually have, and I managed to get at least 1.4 million, which may not seem like the accurate amount because all my pieces are not expertise, but this is the ideal build for a tank DPS because all of my pieces are tank related, but I have weapon cores everywhere. So I guess I would say this is acceptable. As for the attributes, I have 2 gear sets for crit chance and 1 gear set for crit damage as a minor attributes. For the Goblin gear is crit chance and crit damage. That is pretty much everywhere. So it may seem generic as of how it's built, but everything else is complete total armor. I would consider this a tank build because I'm not using any bonuses such as unit alloys, Fenris, Grupo, pretty much the typical pieces that you would need to boost your crit chance, crit damage, and so on. So this is a really funny build. Now I go on with efficient for the chest piece. If you guys don't know, Unbreakable with armor regen does not mesh well at all. It cancels out the talent, so the chances of Unbreakable happening is very slim to 0. So I chose with efficient for the talent. I can tell you that there are some 50-50 experiences with this build. One, the damage will fool you, so don't think the 100k, the 120k base damage that you see here is going to hit like the average weapon damage build. It does not. Keep in mind I don't have bonuses or anything in that matter, so it's almost like an illusion, which is why the crit damage and crit chance speaks for itself to make up. So therefore the actual weapon damage, it kind of plays in part with the pieces that I have on, and plus I'm not amplifying anything, so this makes this build a little harder to use. Another con is that the survivability is very poor than I thought, because yes, it may seem like I'm running a quote-unquote tank build, but I have damage everywhere, so the 1.4 million armor may not seem like enough, but this is a tank DPS from the way it's built. Most damage that I can get from, which is my secondary, the Lexington, I have up to 170 crit damage for the simple fact I have Strained as the talent. Free 50% crit damage. By alone, I have 120%. So here's the stat sheet, which seems almost impossible for the pieces that I'm using, but I am overkilling just about the concept of having a lot of armor and having a lot of damage. So this is the best I can get it to. I'm sure if every piece was at expertise 30, it would be 1.5 million, possibly 1.6, but it wouldn't necessarily make a difference simply because the survivability is going to stay the exact same. For the skills, I'm using a shield and a defender drone just to have that extra tankiness. Not that it really means anything, but it's just enough for those fights. But as you can see in some of these fights, that efficient almost didn't really save me there. I do have 20k regen, which is not a lot, but it seems like a lot for the amount of armor that I have. Anyone that decides to try this build, definitely have every single piece at 30, because if you guys don't know, expertise increases your regen and armor on kill. It acts as a boost if you have more armor, so I guess that's just like a helpful tip out there. As far as the mods, everything is pretty much crit damage. Two mods are crit damage, 1 mod is crit chance. Everything in this build pretty much speaks as completely unique. I know there are tank DPS builds that are considered popular, but this one can be a perfect alternative for tank players out there, so myself. So that wraps up just about everything on this build, as far as from the stats to the crit damage to the skills. Everything seems to be in place. Let me know what you guys think about this build. Let me know if you guys end up making it or trying it to see for yourselves, because I've tried it and it is definitely something different. Make sure to turn on post notifications so you do not miss any content from this channel, and I will see you guys in another video.